What is up, guys? Josh with Navigate the Wild, and today we're going to talk about saddles. The Christmas season is upon us, and as saddle hunting continues to explode onto the scene, you're seeing more and more innovation every year. Just like archery, where the equipment somehow seems to get better every year, it continues to get more expensive every year. And so I'm still shooting a Hoyt Defiant. It's an awesome bow. I love the bow. It was the first Hoyt I ever bought, and it was almost 9 seasons ago. It was the first real expensive bow that I ever purchased. The bow stripped down, I think, was like $1,200. Now, you can't get a Matthews or a Hoyt or a PSE, it seems, for less than $2,000. So I'm holding on to it for a little bit. And it seems like I'm going to be doing that with my saddle equipment as well. Now, in all transparency, this year I did upgrade my sticks to the Latitude SS Carbon stick. Those are great sticks, but they pose their own challenges. I also went from the Predator XL platform to the Cruiser platform, which was a pretty flawless transition, and it is an awesome platform. But you're starting to see there are tons of different companies coming out, tons of evolutions coming out, very cool upgrades, much better, lighter, quieter, all these different type of modifications. One thing that I love about saddle hunting is the ability to modify. It's not absolutely necessary to upgrade to a new saddle every year unless you have the money to do so and you want to. I wasn't ready to do that. I originally purchased the tethered Phantom 2 seasons ago. So this is my second season in the saddle. Absolutely love it. I killed 3 deer, 2 pigs out of it so far this season. It was a great season for me. I still have a buck tag to fill, and I'm working at that. But what I wanted to do this morning was show you and talk to you about if I was going to upgrade my saddle, which one I would go with, as well as how I have modified my tethered Phantom. Saddle hunting has the ability to modify all your gear, anything that you want to do. And I've loved that about saddle hunting, because a lot of the times, you know, you buy a climber, the climber's the climber. You might be able to do a few little things here and there, but for the most part, you're not going to modify it. The climber is the way it's coming. You build a tree stand, the tree stand is what it is. But with saddle hunting, you're able to get into a tree the way that fits you the best. You're able to minimize or maximize the footprint that you wanted to go into the woods with and do a few things that might add value to your setup. You're also able to add and take away certain things that you feel you need. And then there are certain values that all hunters carry with them that are non-negotiables, like first aid or just safety in the woods in general, that they feel are important. And so they add that or take that away to their saddles. So this is currently how I am running my tethered Phantom saddle. It looks a little different than it comes. So the first thing that I did to this saddle was I upgraded my buckle. Tethered sends their system out with this is called a Cobra buckle. And the safety features on the Cobra buckle, other than holding really good weight, it's measured in kilonewtons, it has some really cool safety features. Now, when you're in a tree, whether you are going up with your lineman's rope or you are tied off to your bridge and tethered, the buckle isn't necessarily the thing that saves you in a failure. It helps, obviously, the belt is attached around your waist. And in this case, I run the tethered suspenders, and I really like these. But I was fatter, and I had the tethered Cobra buckle. The two safety features that come with the Cobra buckle that make this really fun is, number one, the two tabs here that release the Cobra buckle. Okay, you push the two tabs in, Cobra buckle slides out or clicks into place. They're only supposed to be able to do that when you push the buckle together, compress the tabs, and pull out the belt buckle. This is not supposed to be able to fail under load. If you put this on and you pull it apart, it's not supposed to give. The other cool factor is if you compress one of the buttons, it's not supposed to give. I ran into a problem in the woods. Thankfully, I was on my bottom step. I was a little fatter. I go up. My belly presses this button somehow, and my tethered Cobra buckle gave, and it popped open. This one's even hard to do without. But it gave like that, and I went, whoa. So I reached out to Tethered, and I told them about this buckle. They said, I'm sending you a new Phantom today. We want you to return it to us so we can do some research on it. They said that I was one of two people that had called with that problem. Okay. And I've been a Tethered fan from the jump. And so I've bought a lot of their products, used a lot of their stuff, and I have nothing but great things to say about them. Their customer service was bar none. I actually talked to a human. I mean, it was great. And they did the exact thing. They sent me a brand new Phantom. I boxed the old one up, put it in the box, sent it back, and their Cobra buckle, again, did the same thing. There was a few reasons I think for that, which I won't get into right now, but what I did do was I took one of my Austrian Alpine belts, Cobra buckles and belt, cut off the old tethered belt, fed this one through, and this thing has been perfect. So that was the first safety modification that I made to my Phantom saddle. The second thing that I did was put the suspender straps on. I liked having these over my shoulder. The new tethered lockdown saddle comes with a yoke system that I really like. I really like the design. I haven't used it yet, but I've looked at it. I've watched other people climb in it. It looks like it's really done great stuff. That innovation has been perfect. These, however, they stretch a little bit, which is understandable. It's nylon or whatever it is. So if you have this loaded down, you know, it will kind of slump slightly on your shoulders, which is not a big deal. I just wanted that added connection, so I bought these off of the Tethered website, added them, and I've been happy with them. I just wasn't ready to spend another $400 investing in a saddle, so I didn't do that right away. The third thing that I did was I removed the Sis Hauler packs. I went from the originals, then they came out with the updated ones with the pockets, and that was cool. But when I saw the lockdown version, I was like, man, I think I can do that same thing because we have all this MOLLE webbing with a 511 pouch. So what I did was I purchased two 9-inch 511 pouches. These things have been great. They have plenty of room. I still don't think they have as much organization, and I don't think they're as big as the lockdown saddle pouches. But for me, I think I got them on sale for 25 bucks a piece. For 50 bucks, I got two pouches, and they hold pretty much everything and then some for me. So in my right side one, I keep my tethered. I keep my hang your stuff strap. And I have my hero clip. In my left one, I have my bow hoist, my bow rope hoist, my lineman's rope, and then I'll carry my snips and a handsaw. And I've got plenty of room. There's no problem in here at all, which is great. The tethered lockdown saddle, they boast the one-hand opening and closing of the bag. I think they're canted slightly forward like this on the hip. I love the design. I think it's great. These aren't easy to do one-handed. They're just not. So that kind of sucks. But what they do have, turn this around, is they have these little bungees on the front and back of each bag. So what I did was I took a night eye. You guys know me and my night eyes. And I've got a long tail here. Usually I keep it like this, but this gives me just enough to be able to reach my left hand around because I'm not as fat anymore. Grab this and easily pull it closed. I wish these were waterproof. That would be really cool. I haven't found that yet, and I'm not sure that the lockdown ones are. I'd have to look into that. But I love the design of the lockdown. The next thing that I did, so this is the fourth modification that I've made to my Phantom saddle. I took a Safariland Glock 19 holster and took the paddle system, and I had to sand it down, modify it to fit perfectly in this connector on the Molly system here, but it fits right between on my dominant hand. It fits right between my pouch onto the Molly webbing, and it holds my Glock 19 with my light, okay? The reason I did that, number one, is just security. So I just am really cautious about walking in and out of the woods at dark. On top of that, in Florida, you can see on my channel, I've got a rattlesnake video, December 10th of last year. I almost stepped on a 53-inch or 56-inch, I couldn't remember, Eastern Diamondback rattler, literally right there at my feet. And so I'd rather have my handgun with me with snake shot in it. So that's the fourth modification. I took a Black Rock carabiner. I put some stealth strip on it where it sits, where my platform would sit. And I've hooked it to the very middle back of my Phantom. The reason I've done that is because I can reach back there before I get into the tree and hook my platform on, okay? And that just secures it, which is great. The last modification I've made, and it is super small, it just gives me a little added peace of mind when doing something that can potentially be dangerous. I mean, hunting in general, it can be dangerous at times. I've heard some crazy stories. I've told you before, the driving force behind saddle hunting for me was safety. I loved that I could get up a tree, attach to a tree, and then I could actually attach to a tree and hunt and move around freely around the tree and be completely attached to the tree. That was the main driving force behind making all these purchases. Because saddle hunting is not cheap. It's expensive to start. So I love the safety factors, but accidents can happen. I have a first aid kit. It's got a tourniquet in it. I think it's really important. One of the big values that I have in hunting is going out and coming home to my family as safe as possible, in the safest manner as possible. And so this last modification, although super small, in my opinion, falls right in that value system. It makes my wife feel better, it makes me feel better, and I hope I never have to depend on it at all. That being said, my flex pouches have a strip of Velcro, and so does my Kifaru Shape Charge. What I did was I took my blood type and I connected it to the Velcro panel here, and the one on my Shape Charge as well. I don't have any known allergies to medications, and I have those little squares as well. But in the case that I ever get hurt to the point where I need to be transferred by an ambulance, I'm bleeding or whatever the case may be, freak things happen, there's no question. What blood type is he? He's O positive. It's on my pack, it's on my saddle, and I would be wearing this. And so it just a little detail that gives you more peace of mind, that is a super small investment. I think a pack of 5 cost me $6, and you just stick them all over the place. That way it's known. I carry a tourniquet. I have tourniquets all over the place. I carry one in my EDC pouch, which we'll be doing a video on. I carry one in my truck, one in my family car, one in my pack. I have them all over the place because you never know if you're going to need one for yourself or somebody else, and that could save a life. So, super small investment. They're affordable. You can have those where you need to, and I bring one with me to the woods. So, that is my fully modded out Phantom saddle, guys, and I'm just here to say you don't have to rush out after making a purchase like this and make another purchase like this to just stay up with the Joneses. This thing is great. It's going to run for the next few seasons for me. I'm not looking to update anything. I would consider it if pouches came weatherproofed. I know that FHF just released their chest rig in weatherproofing. It's fully waterproof. I like that idea because you carry your binos and all that stuff. So that's something that I might consider. But as far as saddles, this is the one that I would go with, okay? So if I was going to buy a saddle in 2020 for the 2024 season coming up, and I was going to practice it, I would get the Lockdown. I love the yoke system. It's going to take a lot of weight, redistribute it. I love the 2-panel system along the back, along the butt. I love the pouches on either side. They're large, they're affixed, they keep a bunch of gear where you want it. I would still change out the belt buckle. Sorry, Tethered, but I'd get rid of your belt buckle and I'd put an Austrian Alpine on there. Other than that, that's the saddle I would 100% go with, for sure. In my opinion, it's more equipped, it's better thought through, the engineering behind it's great. I saw one company the other day, I was really into their saddle, I looked into it a little bit, and you gotta buy pouches. I'm like, what? I'm not buying pouches. $50 a piece, you gotta have 2. No, I'm not doing that. Now a $400 saddle all of a sudden cost me $500. So I would go with the Lockdown. I will be reviewing the M2 turkey vest this season, so look for that video. But yeah, guys, have a great Christmas, have a great New Year, and navigate the wild.